When you create a font in Floriani Lettering Master and you save it, you also have the ability to export that font. And the export feature is a really neat feature because it allows you to, share a font that maybe you create with a friend, and all you need to do is export it, and then they will turn around and import it into their software. Or if you own like Floriani Total Control U, which is our flagship embroidery program, you can create a font in here in Lettering Master and then import it into your FTC-U program so that that font's available inside of it as well. So you can see that I have a font here that was created. It's also been saved, but now let's say I want to export it. All you need to do is come up to the top. You have your different menu options. Let's see here. And you'll notice that you don't see the export or import feature, and that's because I'm still in this font creator mode. So if I come back to a regular design page, which I have one open right here, or you have this new icon right here, I'll just click that new icon. You need to get back into your regular design window. And now you'll notice that I have something called tools. So I wanted to point that out, that in order to get to the import and export, you need to be in the regular view for the software, the regular design view page. So I'm going to go to Tools. I'm going to choose Export Fonts. And when I choose that, it's going to bring this window up here. And what this does is allows me to choose where I want to export it to. So right here you can see Export To, and the default is my C drive, the Floriani folder, and assets, and I like to keep it here because I know that whenever I export anything, they'll all be in this same folder. Next thing you have to do is you have to choose what fonts you're going to export, because you can export any of them that you create. So I'm going to check this box and then hit select, and now you're going to see all the fonts you've created. So you have to have created fonts and saved them in order to see any of them here. So I can export all of them at the same time, or I can export just one of them. So let's say that I just want to export a couple of these. I can click this box right here that says uncheck all. Instead of having to go one at a time, I can just do uncheck all and they all are unchecked, or I can click check all and they'll all be selected. So I'm going to go back to uncheck all, and let's say that I want to export this font and I want to export this font. I have those two selected. Now all I have to do is hit OK, and what it's going to do is save it once I click this OK, and also it's going to open Windows Explorer showing me exactly where it is. So I'm going to hit OK, and now these fonts are exported, and I'll show you inside of this Explorer. This is the one that I just created. You can see that I've done a few different things using our Total Control U software, where you can export other assets, not just like fonts. So you can see that I have this that says FLM, that stands for Floriani Lettering Master Fonts, and it gives the date that this export was created, and it also gives you the time that it was done. And this is just helpful so that you can go back and you can say, okay, I remember creating that yesterday, if you've created a few of them. But you can also rename it if you choose. So you can right click on it and just choose to rename it, and you can rename that file to anything you want. Just make sure it has this .ast in it. That's the important thing. That's the extension. And so you can rename it, and basically that's all you have to do. It's exported. Now you can take this file and you could import it into like Floriani Total Control U, or you could share this file with a friend that already has Lettering Master, and they'll be able to import it. So next I'm going to show you how to import the fonts. So I'm going to close this, and now what I'm going to do is come up to Tools, and I'm going to choose Import Fonts this time. So when I click Import Fonts, it's going to come to a directory. You can see that this is just where my fonts are located in the software, but that's not where I saved it. So what I need to do is go back to the folder that I saved the exported font to. So I'm going to go to my C drive, and you remember it was Floriani and Assets, and you'll see that that shows up right here. So I'm going to click on that font, and I'm going to choose Open. So this is if you shared it with somebody, they just go to Tools, Import, go to the area where it was located, and choose Open. Now that's going to bring up this window here, and you're not going to see a whole lot, but there's this little arrow right here that says Fonts. If I click on that arrow, it's going to drop down, and you're going to see the fonts that are included inside of that file. So if your friend that you shared it with, let's say that they only really wanted this one, they could just select it and choose OK, and it would load it in the software, or they choose both of them and then hit OK, and it will install those in. So you can check all over here on the right side, uncheck all. You can expand or collapse. So that collapsed it, that expanded it. And you can choose to overwrite existing files. So let's say that you shared this font with somebody previously, but you made an adjustment. So now you wanted to send a new version of it to them. Well, after you export the new version, they can check, because they already have it installed, they can check this overwrite existing files, choose OK, and what it will do is it will install this over the top of their previous one because it has the same file name. So I'm going to choose OK, and now it's installed into the software, and I can use that font. So it's very easy to do, to import and export. That's how you export out of Lettering Master, and that's how you can also import one. The same thing, if you own Floriani Total Control U and you want to import the font, it's done the exact same way in that software. You would open up Floriani Total Control U, and you would go to the tools and import font, and you do it identical to how you saw it being done in Lettering Master. So hope that this video helps you figure out how to import and export fonts that you create or that somebody shares with you, and hope that you enjoy this feature.